Hello and welcome to Mykonos. My name is Andrew. I'm the founder of Time+Tide. I'm one of your buddies at About Effing Time, and I'm also to be found on Instagram at Andrew_McCutcheon. Look, this is a special day. We have the drop of all 8 models of the new Omega Seamaster 75th anniversary collection. We're going to spin through them, but before we do, I want to ask you something. Can you please subscribe to Time+Tide? We are the biggest watch channel that you may not have ever heard of. We were there at the drop of the moon swatch. We're at the drop of this today, and we will be wherever the action is tomorrow. So please like and subscribe to Time+Tide. It means a lot to us. We just hit 100K. Let's get to 200K even quicker. Now, let's get to what you're here for. We have access to this entire brand new Seamaster collection. Firstly, let's talk generally about the characteristics of this collection. Number 1, we have a summer blue color, which is a sort of a quote-unquote patented Omega color. You're gonna see that through this collection. Number 2, this is my favorite thing about this collection. I absolutely love this. And Marcus, let's find a way to do this. I'm gonna stand back with you. I want you to just sort of get a spread of the watches if you can. You probably can't see the dials closely, but let me demonstrate to you what this changing graduated blue from the Aqua Terra right through to the ultra deep means. Can anybody guess? I don't know. This isn't an About Effing Time live stream, so you can't actually play with me right now. I'll tell you what it means. We are starting with a shallow light blue gradient here, which is what they're calling a sun-brushed summer blue color. And it goes right through to the ultra deep in almost an inky black dial color. Now, also what we're seeing on these models that is unique is a entirely new caseback. Now, Reinald Eichlemann, the CEO, just did a fantastic speech talking about Poseidon and talking about the mythology of the sea and Poseidon riding these seahorses. So this is a new motif, wonderfully etched there on the caseback. Look at that. This is quite a dramatic motif, really riding those seahorses through the waves. So this is the Aqua Terra 38mm model. So we have this varnished gradient dial in summer blue. Now, what's also unique to this collection is that in these sailboat, what they're calling sailboat indexes, which refer to the hull of a boat, we have a new shade of superluminova, which is again in that summer blue. Lovely sympathetic touch with that date window there, reflecting the same light blue. There it is, the Aqua Terra 38mm, lovely. Coming up to the 41mm model, we have a teak dial. So that plain dial of the 38mm model contrasted here with what Omega call their teak dial, which has these different sort of wedge indexes. Very dimensional. As I look at them from above, they're really raised. So here again, we have that summer blue gradient dial. And again, that sympathetic blue date window, 41mm. This would be the size for me with a 7-inch wrist. Wow, this looks absolutely spectacular next to a 300M Seamaster. Goodness me, that blue truly has to be seen to be believed. This is it's almost, I'd say a menthol icy type blue. It's gorgeous. Okay, next up is the watch that was launched in 2017. It is the Aqua Terra Worldtimer. Now, in 2017, the first world motifs on the dial were not laser ablated, and they're quite different. But in 2019, 2 years later, Omega developed this new laser ablation technology, which creates extraordinary contour, dimension, almost a tactility to the continents as you see them on the dial. This is yet again reflecting that summer blue motif. So let's have a closer look at this one. I'm looking at all the names of the cities on the rail. Really beautiful piece, and again reflecting that summery blue of this 75th anniversary. Caseback is the same limited edition caseback.
Yeah, this is good.
There it is, yep. Poseidon riding those waves. Okay, now we're getting warm. We're getting to the models that you love the most. The Seamaster 300, which here presents really differently in terms of the dial execution. We do not have that sun-brushed sunray dial. We have a matte dial that reflects a solid gradient here in that summer blue. But again, look how well this works with the sandwich dial. So we have a cutout dial with a solid dial of summer blue underneath that top dial. with the numerals and the indexes cut out. It is awesome. Blue ceramic bezel, again with that contrasting summer blue and a new shade of like a navy on that bezel. We have the decorative caseback, again with Poseidon riding those waves, and we have other dimensions unchanged. Now look, this model, this is a controversial one, and I know I'm going to get shouted down, and I'm going to put an audience question sticker up right now. What do you prefer? Are you a Seamaster 300 or a 300M person? Because for me, I'm 300, and that is because it harkens back to that trilogy released in 1957, which was the Railmaster, the Speedmaster, and the Seamaster. What a year that was for Omega, and all three watches just stunning in their different ways. And the real point here is the lollipop hand and that sandwich dial construction. Also, you're going to see at night, I think this is going to be the best kind of loom box, or the loom theater of all of these watches, because we have you know, a little more of the loom on that sandwich dial that's going to shine through these cutouts. So this is the Seamaster 300. My choice of the next two, but what about you? And I guess you have to see the next one to decide, so let's do it. Cool, moving on with this magical tour of Seamasters, we have the one almost certainly you've been waiting to see, which is the Seamaster 300M, which is what I'm wearing today in its previous version. This is the 75th anniversary Seamaster 300M. Straight away, what do you see? I'm going to put this on wrist so we can compare. What do you see that is different? Look at the way that summer blue, that light blue color to the raised indexes changes the appearance of the watch. Also, instead of a solid polished ceramic or zirconium dioxide dial, we have this gradient dial that you see goes from dark at the rail right into a sort of a frosty blue in the center. Also, we have Omega very sensitively and I think smartly changing the date window background in the aperture here to reflect the exact color of the gradient around it. So this watch has definitely got a lot of you in its thrall. Look, it probably doesn't have a lot of those changes you wanted. We don't have a tapered bracelet. We still have that helium escape valve, which is, frankly for me, it's kind of a cute and ugly, pretty calling card of the Seamaster 300M. And we have those raised indexes, another calling card, as well as that wave cut dial. But yes, no major other things to report. We have that caseback with Poseidon riding the seahorses, and we have that new shade of ceramic in the bezel, which is contrasting here with the summer blue of the numerals and dive scale. There it is, 75th anniversary Seamaster 300M. We can pause on this a long time because you guys want to see it. Let's go again, go side by side. What do you prefer? Let me ask you another question. Do you like the way that this new dial treatment, the varnish, creates that sunbrushed extra sort of strobe of light across the dial, or do you prefer this uniform ceramic? Lots of questions. It is in my hand and as solid as ever. Gosh, this bracelet is so solid. Great watch. Let's move on. Up next, wow, this is a little surprise. We have the Planet Ocean returning, 39.5. Interesting that those really big, chunky, testosterone-fueled Planet Oceans have been passed over for one 39.5, but that smaller size does not belie its serious deep diving nature. This is a 600-meter water-resistant watch, and you can see from the case profile that translates into a very, very hefty case profile. So here it is next to a 42mm Seamaster 300M. You can see significantly smaller, but again that case height higher, because we have in this version a 600-meter capability. That means it must have more protection for the movement, and that extra thickness shows its seriousness. And again, we have that darker date window there, and for the first time in the collection. So compared to the standard Seamaster 300M here with the polished ceramic dial, we're really seeing that different dial treatment. Again, we have the unique new loom color. We have the summer blue playing out across the handset and the indexes. What do you think of this new Planet Ocean 39.5mm in summer blue for the 75th anniversary? Are you into it? Do you think that this is the Planet Ocean they should have reprised for this collection? Is 39.5 right for this model? Do you prefer it in the larger size? There's a lot of questions about the Planet Ocean, but it's good to see it back. It is a model that I have a lot of fondness for. All right, I need to almost do some push-ups. I need to flex up here because this is 280 plus grams of stainless steel in a watch. The Proplof, the fabled Proplof, is back. I want to say it. I want to say it loud, and it is sensitive to its original 1971 proportions. So this is a model released in 1971. It is truly a mythical beast. This is a mythical dive watch. It's from that era of the silent world, the Jacques Cousteau, Comex collaborations. This is a watch that was designed not by a designer, but by an engineer. It trucks not with your aesthetics. This is a watch that was there to do a job and there to do it to 1,200 meters. We have double the water resistance of the Planet Ocean and quadruple the water resistance of my Seamaster 300M. Now, as you can see, the summer blue gradient takes a twist here for the deep. We have a sort of a grey, a blue-grey color there, but look at the way that sun-brushed dial is strobing that sun across the dial. Stunning. Let's talk about some other features of this watch. We have a sapphire inset to the bezel. We have a blue ceramic ring to the security pusher here. And we have a proportion that is actually a straight up revision of 1971. So instead of a 48mm lug-to-lug, we now have a really quite wearable, and Marcus, let's do this. I'm going to take this off and put this on. So 44mm lug-to-lug, it is substantially smaller, almost 10% smaller than the previous version of the Proplof in modern times. So if that one put you off with its hulking proportions across your wrist this way, then this might be the one to consider. Now the caseback, we have a different version of the Poseidon etching on this watch. And instead of it being engraved deeply into the watch, we have what I believe is a laser ablated etching with a nice contrast there. You actually get to see a little bit more of this motif on this model. The other thing that is going to be a welcome comeback for collectors is the fact that it is a monoblock case, meaning that this is a single case piece and does not have a separate case back. It is all one very tough shell, cowrie shell that you can put to your ear and listen to two tick. Look, honestly, I didn't come here expecting to be so into the Proplof, but putting this on my 7-inch wrist, I am kind of in love, Marcus.
Yeah, man.
I feel like this is so singular a piece. This is just such a statement of intent. I love that it's designed by an engineer. This just had no intention to be something that it is today. And it's that unknowing, unplanned, uncontrived nature is truly awesome. So let's move on. Look, this day of dreams had to end at some point, and sadly it ends here, but we end deep. This is a 6,000 meter water resistant watch, which explains why it is the darkest shade of blue in these 8 models that we have here. As I mentioned at the start, the gradient of the blue changes depending on its depth rating. So we started, picture back that Aqua Terra with that lovely light blue gradient. Now we get to deep depths, and here we have one of the coolest ideas for a dial etching that I have encountered, which is the actual surface of the deepest point on Earth in the Mariana Trench. This what you're seeing here, this topography of the ocean floor, has been mapped by 1 million sonar points to be absolutely dead accurate of the deepest part of the ocean floor. That is not the coolest thing, however. Marcus, did you think that was the coolest thing?
I actually did.
Yeah, well, there's something cooler. If I had a UV torch here and I shone it across this extraordinary, mysterious, hyper-real ocean floor dial, you would see Omega was here. It is on the wrist. Now, anyone that followed along from the launch of the Ultra Deep in 2019 knows its dimensions, but this is a hulking monster, 45.5 millimeters on the wrist. I don't know, I'm not gonna be offended. If I was gonna be offended, I would have never started Time and Tide or joined About Effing Time, so I'm ready for this. Can I do this? Does this work for me? I have a 7-inch wrist. I'm feeling maybe a little sunstruck because I feel quite confident that I could pull this watch off in real life.
Yeah, you could.
Thanks, Marcus. So look, lots to talk about with this watch, but really it's just the sheer monstrosity and energy. It's a big watch energy. It's been a big day for Omega. 75 years since that first Seamaster in 1948. I'm exhausted. I am actually exhausted. I want to go and dive into the ocean. I could dive, in actual fact, the deepest part of the ocean out here is 5,000 meters. I could go right to the bottom in this thing and still have a kilometer to go. Unfortunately, I'm scared of the bends and sharks and everything else, so that's not gonna happen. But hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for staying till the end. Please, if you haven't subscribed and liked Time and Tide, do it right now, because 60% of people that watch our videos don't subscribe, and we need to change that. Your all access pass is gonna continue soon. See you soon.